So on the flip side of that, though, Bob, and I'm not saying this guy quit because this guy was injured, had a concussion. Although he had a concussion, I guess he suffered it last week, and then 5 days later they say, "Oh, he had a concussion. He's not playing this week." Anyway.
Okay. So what is he healing up from a concussion? Like, is he rehabbing
I'm
that?
talking about Nico here.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Nico,
yeah.
yes.
Okay. I think that Nico not playing helped his draft stock.
Well, yeah, it would have been a bad. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's. And I know.
He could have came out and made some plays. The thing is, they don't have any. They don't have any receivers there. Like, they don't have near the weapons that he would need to be able to be successful. But he could have went out there and made some plays against what many people consider one of the best defenses in the country.
I just think that, and I think it was good for his brand to not be out there going against that team. Because, yes, he may have made a couple of plays, Bob, but I think Ohio State still would have made him look bad. Like, they make everybody look bad. But nonetheless, Ohio State gets that win. And Carnell Tate out. Jeremiah Smith, also, or Jeremiah Williams, or Jeremiah Love. Also missed some time there. But here is Ryan Day talking about the injuries to Carnell and JJ.
Yeah, we rely on our medical staff. And just, go with, the doctors, they're the ones who know best. And then certainly the feedback that you get from the players is important as well. And just make the best decisions we can.
Is there anything that you are concerned long-term about Carnell or Jeremiah right now?
No.
Bob, I feel like Carnell, and you know this more than I would, being around the program. I feel like if there was a Michigan game this week and Carnell plays.
I would say that.
All right.
That's probably an accurate statement.
Do you think they should be pushing to play this week?
No. Not if you. Like, what do you mean? What's pushing to play mean?
What I mean is if that's where. Go ahead, Bodie. I don't know why you didn't jump in there. Could he hurt it more?
You heard it any worse.
Right, any worse.
I don't
Bob.
understand, Herb.
So I'm worried about that, Bob. Like, it's because it's not the Michigan game. It's not one more game after Michigan. It might be 4 more games after Michigan. And so, like, you're talking about a 5-game season after Rutgers. And I'm just saying, if they're not 100%, if they are, and I know you as a football player, you will tell me that
if you're healthy enough to
100%.
play and it's not going to get any worse.
Yeah.
And part of it is, too, with this, like, are you setting it back and you're just living in this world where you're just mitigating and dealing with symptoms all week? You don't want to be trapped in that whirlpool every week. So if you can get healthy and get right, then yes, you do that. But otherwise, like, you go play. Like, you're football players. Like, unless you want to talk about quarterbacks opting out and not playing anymore.
And also the fact, Carnell, this will be his last home game.
Yeah.
He's going to go. He's gone after this year, and they're not going to host a playoff game this year. So
there's still time.
They're not going to host a playoff game.
He's not coming back for his degree.
Olave
did it.
We had a lot of the receivers. We got to hear their names called more often than normally do. Here's Ryan Day talking about that.
Yeah, what a great opportunity for some of those other guys to get some key reps to learn from. And so some of them we're good. Some of them we got to improve on. But Brandon made a couple nice catches. The third down catch near our sideline there was an excellent one. And so maybe the yards weren't as high, but when you're a slot receiver, it's about some of those first down catches, and he had a bunch of those tonight, and those kept the drives going.
It was I was excited about the Bob. Like I said, we talked about it. Looked a little bit disjointed, maybe combination of saying not being 100% after he had that his ankle turned, which looked a lot worse, I guess, than I thought it would be. But and just the timing. And it's funny because these receivers also then the one of the announcers had said something about there was a pass that somebody, I can't remember who it was, but said Jeremiah would have caught that ball, kind of thing. And there was a couple times that happened with the broadcast where, like, you heard someone say, Tate would have had that ball or whatever, which is a little bit unfair to those guys. But I like seeing the other receivers out there and get some action.
Absolutely, it's great. It was fun to see. Like, those guys have been working, and people have been waiting to kind of see when are they going to pop out there, when are they going to be healthy, or when are they going to get their shot to ultimately go and play. And so it was good to watch. Everyone's talked about, Brandon Ennis, he's a captain. He hasn't been all that productive this year. Well, they just haven't run a lot of plays. There's only one football. There's only so many ways you can get it. But Mylan Graham looked really good in training camp. Bryson Rogers looked good in training camp. And it was good to see, Bryson ran a great dig, came in, caught the ball, they put it on him. It was great to see, those two guys play a lot. And then Brandon be a little bit more the focal point of the offense at times, especially on third down when there's chain-moving opportunities, like Ryan said.
Right.
For him to go out there and to be able to be the guy that makes those catches that keep you on the field.
Bob, did you go back and watch the broadcast or not? Have you watched it?
I have not.
Okay. There was at halftime, whoever the sideline reporter was pulls Ryan Day aside. And obviously, Ohio State had a damn near flawless first half, dominated. And she says to him, "What's your message to your team at halftime?" kind of thing. And you could see Ryan was very polite, It's but it's just an odd question. I think Ryan Day may be like, what the hell are we talking about here? Here's Ryan Day talking after the game about the workmanlike performance.
Yeah, pretty workmanlike, I think. Thought we had the right approach coming in. We found out kind of, I guess, this morning or today that Nico may be out, and sort of that sort of changed things a little bit just in terms of our approach and our game planning, but not in terms of our mindset and mentality. And that's the thing that we want to make sure, as we've talked about before, and to bring it every day and have that look in our eye. And I thought we did that again tonight. We ended up, Jeremiah, had a certain amount of plays. We felt like we're just going to hold him, make sure that he's at 100% here over the next week, and decided to hold Carnell this week as well. And so, gave us an opportunity to play some of the younger guys. And I thought Brandon had a lot of nice, third down catches in there. And then we got able to get the run game going. So defense played strong. And then the kickoff return was great to get, on the field. A lot of hard work was done there to get that on the field and executed. So that was good. But, I think it was businesslike, workmanlike. I thought we had the right approach to it. Certainly not perfect. But that's what we need to get to, because the precision and the execution that needs to happen here, over the next couple of weeks is going to be very important.
This weekend should be more of the same. I'm not sure if Rutgers is any better than UCLA. They'll at least they'll be maybe healthier, I guess, coming into the game. But I envision the same kind of thing, Bob, where I think Ohio State can probably, if everyone's healthy, I think Ryan Day can name his score.
What do you think he wants to name it?
I said before, Bob, I wish he'd be Petty. I wish he would be
Tom
Signetti.
Petty?
Yes. Richard Petty. I wish he would I wish he would hang 60 on a team. He won't. I know that, but I wish he would.
He's got respect for Greg Schiano. You don't need to go out there and destroy him. And here's the reality. 8 plays, touchdown. 11 plays, field goal. 12 plays, touchdown. 5 plays, touchdown, 2 plays, field goal, and that was your drives in the first half.
Yeah.
People can say whatever they want about things. Defensively, 3 plays, punt, 5 plays, punt, 6 plays, punt, 3 plays, punt, 4 plays, turnover on downs. That was it. There's nothing, you really couldn't do anything any better in the first half.
And I read, Bob, I don't know if I heard this, one or the other, but that because of the pace that now they play with some more tempo. They play with more tempo. I think coming out this week, they seem to play with more of an up tempo than they have in the past this year.
Uptown girl.
Yes, but if you look at their number of plays they've run, number of plays that been involved in their games because of the way it's gone, I think I read or heard that it was it's the equivalent of having 3 fewer games this year.
Depends on who you're judging against, but it's at least 1 game fewer, if not a game and a half to 2. 3, it's a little high, but that's if you extrapolate them playing the same way and, all the games on the playing. But, yes, you're taking reps off guys. So last night, they have 34 passes, 33 rushes, 67 plays. That was kind of even on the high end for them.
Yeah, I think so, too.
That was a little faster. I mean, they've been in the 50s. The problem is when UCLA is just going 3 and out,
right?
You get the ball back, you've got to do something with it, no matter how slow you play.
And I understand, Bob, that the tempo is the game and the opponent will dictate the tempo sometime. Will dictate the tempo. But do you think it's at all by design, by day, to have fewer plays in the game?
Yes, that's 100%. Like they haven't run up tempo. When have they gone hurry up?
They did against UCLA early on, right?
Just a little bit, just a little bit,
yes,
just to show it, and just to work on it, and
but
have it.
I didn't know if you thought I guess what I'm asking was it a concerted effort before the season started? Like Ryan Day said, hey, it's a damn grind. We're going to play 16 games this year. Let's try to take a game, not a game off. I don't mean like take the game off. I mean, let's try to shave a game's worth of wear and tear, or 2 games of wear and tear off our team.
They started doing that last year. I mean, they literally started doing it last season, and it worked so well. And Ryan was, there's only 2 teams that played till that final week, with Notre Dame and Ohio State being 2 of them, and understanding what that does to the players' bodies, the expectations of what they need to be late in the season. So this is something that's a concerted effort, and they've talked about it, they've addressed it, and I think people now are starting to look at it and realizing that it makes a lot of sense, because it exposes your defense to less. You don't have to rotate as many guys. You can stay just a hell of a lot fresher.
Okay, so you obviously made the jump. Let's see. You went 14-0 your freshman year, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then you go to the NFL, and you've got your a couple of preseason games and then a 16-game grind. How much different is that than a college football season? Making that jump. Now, it's different college now, I know, because the fact that Ohio State played, 16 last year, could play 16 this year, should play 16 this year. But how much different was that for you as you think about your last couple years of college to your first year in the NFL on your body?
Oh, it's way different.
Yeah.
The NFL, it's the amount of games, and even with this, they're going to get like a little week off here. After the Big Ten championship, you get some time. They'll get a bye. But, in the NFL, you're playing 16 plus playoffs plus preseason, or now 17. It's a lot. It's a lot on you. And so these guys who came from high school go from playing 10 games, maybe 11 or 12, to where it used to be by Thanksgiving or like Halloween, in high school, it's kind of you're starting to see, the end of the line there. I mean, college, you've got another month. NFL, you've got a couple months after that. So it's a big difference physically, but as much as it's physically, it's just a psychological element of knowing you've got to get up and go play.
The one thing I did enjoy, Bob, about this game also, though, was the way the running game was going. And here is Ryan Day talking about that.
I thought the running backs ran hard. I think, it was on 33 carries for 222. And it looked like just about all those guys averaged over 7 yards a carry. But there was a lot of runs that I saw in there where we were making guys miss on the first level and the second level, in particular James. But it starts with the offensive line, and every play sort of looks the same to start with, but like, how are you finishing the plays? And so we're going to get on the film and make sure we're finishing plays downfield. Guys are finishing their guy downfield. The blocking on the perimeter has got to be strong. And that comes down to effort and mindset. Everybody's involved with the run game, and it starts with the offensive line, tight ends, but Julian's involved. But at the end of the day, it seemed to me like the running backs were getting downhill and running physical. Even I think on one of the touchdown runs by Bo, there was maybe a free hat in the hole, but that's the running game. And sometimes you got to be your own blocker, run guys over, and make them miss. That's how it works. But it was good. I mean, so I guess now looking at the last 2 weeks, we've had just under maybe 80 runs, because what did we have last week? Like 40, somewhere around there. So over 70 carries the last 2 weeks, which is great. And I think the more these young backs carry the ball, the better they're going to be. I said that all along. So we're going to need them, man, with the teams we're about to play.
James Peoples averaged 7 yards a carry on 6 carries, which was the lowest among he, West, and Bo Jackson. West was
a great play, though. I was really happy for James.
Me
the
too.
hurdling of the defender. I mean, it was a ooh and ah moment. It was pretty awesome.
That's one of those things, Bob, where he's somebody who doesn't get a lot of opportunities, and it's nice to see him have a signature play. You know what I mean? Like that right there now, when people think of James Peoples, they're going to think of that play first.
Oh, yeah. That'll be the play, at least unless he does something better, the one that he'll be associated with mostly in Ohio State lore. So really happy for him. And coming this season, he obviously had huge expectations of what he thought he could be this year. And I think a lot of that was correspondent with Ryan and what they thought he was going to be, and it just hasn't really materialized the way that he probably would have liked to see it. And now you get Isaiah West and Bo Jackson that are getting more of the carries. But it was great to see him out there and allow him to take advantage of the opportunities that he's been given.
It reminded me, Bob, of someone we've talked to recently. But, Maurice Hall, we know him for the Michigan touchdown that won the game. And, Peoples, a veteran guy who's now kind of getting passed in the running back rotation by a couple of freshmen. But him having, I know it wasn't the same as winning the game against Michigan, but him having a moment like that, though, is still, it's a cool thing to see.
Oh, it was an ooh and ah. Like, everybody in the stadium, it erupted when he did that. And then he went and scored, to polish it off. So it was a great overall play that people like to see, and it energized the whole stadium.
Do you think that Ohio State's success in the running game says more about the running backs, the line, or UCLA's defense?
UCLA's defense isn't great.
Right.
That's nothing to write home about. They did stop Penn State at the end of the game when they needed to, but I don't know what that's saying. I think it really talks about, the offensive line is getting better and starting to improve. And then, as Ryan talked about, the more those guys play, the better they get. And sometimes you got to be your own blocker. You may have an unblocked hat in the hole. There may be someone that's spilling off and falling off of a block. You've got to either run through them or run around them. Those are your options. And they did a little bit of both on Saturday night.
Not that I have anything to do with, or this didn't interest me necessarily, but the line for the Ohio State game opened up at around 29.5, got to 34, I think, after the announcements about Nico not playing. I think it settled around 33. And a certain play by Lorenzo Styles would have taken anybody who was picking Ohio State to cover, would have gotten them money. Here is Ryan Day talking about the Lorenzo Styles kick return.
Yeah, Lorenzo, you could see the speed. He was rolling, and but it takes buy-in from everybody, and we assign each special teams unit to a coach, and Nate Ebner has that group, and I thought he did a great job. First off, you have to get buy-in from the players. They have to believe that it's going to go. We haven't had many opportunities this year. We put that return in this week, and we knew we may not get that many opportunities at it. And Nate said, I really want to take a shot at this thing. And so when it was taken out a yard or two in the end zone, Lorenzo said, once I took it out, I knew I had to return it for a touchdown, so I better get running. He didn't have a choice. I agreed with him. But it's just the buy-in from everybody. That's how it works. Because all it takes is one guy. How many times have you heard a return way? If we just made one more block, it would have gone. And that's what it takes. So it's a mindset of guys doing their job. And when special teams can flip a game like that, certainly it makes a big difference.
First time since 2010, Jordan Hall.
That's good that's finally been erased.
Yes.
It's been a long time, 15 years. So Lorenzo Styles, and it couldn't happen to a guy that, has done everything the right way, battled some injuries, went to Notre Dame, transferred, he's been sitting, kind of waiting, and he's playing really good football this year. And that was awesome to see him, be able to do that.
I would like to say that Styles got promoted, not just transfer. I think he got promoted going to Ohio State versus that team out westish. Anyway, southest. But Bob, yes, it was. And were you surprised when he took it out?
A little bit, because you just don't see kickoff returns that much anymore.
Yeah, I know, right?
They can fair catch that thing anywhere down there.
Yeah.
So usually you don't see it. Now, with that being said, because of that, when you do bring it out, there's an opportunity to make some big plays, because a lot of times that coverage unit isn't strained and stressed the way that they need to be. And also, functionally, guys just start to let up a little bit.
Yeah. I was, when he first started taking it, I thought, oh, God, this is going to piss Day off. But I'm glad that it was
They've
not.
been working. Nate's been trying to get them to return one for a while. Was pretty confident in what he thought that they had out there, and I think that confidence shows, and that might be a play that they need in a big game.
You're right. Look, I like the fact they showed they can do it. You know what I mean? Like, just showing it that Ohio State can do that, I think, is also a good thing.